Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to take a look at the question, how might we implement animated environments and virtual reality in education? As part of our week 5 learning objective, where we're really focusing on these newer emerging technologies in the world of visual media. And we're really going to focus on those animated environments and virtual reality today. First, let's talk about animated environments. So animated environments are a very interesting educational topic because it allows you to essentially build through computer software any environment you'd like to place your student in. Right, yesterday we talked about 360 video and how we can record the real world around us using this technology. Within animated environments, you can design your own world, and the viewer can then view within that world, right? You can use computers to generate images and cartoons and pictures and backgrounds, right? You can do all sorts of things using these animated environments. And there's a couple different tools that you can use to create these. Okay, there's a series of 3D graphic softwares. One of the leading ones there is Blender. And these are really good at letting you use kind of artistic tools to create 3D objects or 3D environments. And there's also game design engines that have kind of that software built in as well, although to a lesser degree. Engines like Unreal or Unity also allow you to kind of build these environments, and then your students can kind of navigate within them to see these maybe different educational scenarios. So I think there's a lot of interesting stuff here with this idea of a teacher-created environment that students can explore. Okay, but when we talk about animated environments, that's kind of what I'm talking about. We'll show you an example a little later with our tools to explore. Now, when we talk about placing our learner inside an animated environment, if they're able to interact with any of that environment, now we're hitting the realm of virtual reality. Okay, so virtual reality is similar to augmented reality, except we're looking at that virtual world. Okay, so we have the viewer here, the learner. They're looking at this animated world, right? But similar to augmented reality, we can overlay windows and programs and apps or interactables within that world that the user can interact with. Things like buttons or things they can pick up or turn around, right? But the idea with virtual reality is we can use, right, virtual reality goggles and handhelds to interact with the world around us, to look around, to move things, right? It allows you to be in that environment and interact with it. So I think it's really cool. There's a ton of potential in virtual reality. It's probably more potential than, I think, established technology at this point, right? There's a lot to look forward to, but I don't think a ton of it is being implemented in the classrooms right now. UNR has some really cool virtual reality options and rental programs and that sort of thing. The bottom level of the library. If this was a full kind of fall or spring course, we might check some of those out. But since this is a summer course and we don't have a ton of time, we're not going to check any of those out or anything. But they are down there. If you guys have an interest in virtual reality, go to that first floor of the library, ask to check it out. There's different things you can try. There's rental programs if you want to use it for a project. There's a lot of great resources down there. But virtual reality, definitely an interesting technology, definitely an emerging technology, something that's going to be used a lot probably in the future. Long term, we're going to see some cool stuff, I think, for sure. But I do have a video that you guys can check out on how one teacher is at least using virtual reality in the classroom, but definitely kind of a cutting edge technology that I think we're going to really see shape kind of the future of education long term. Maybe not in the next 10 or 20 years, but 50, 100 years down the line, right? This might be the norm. Who knows? But yeah, virtual reality. Interesting topic there. Okay, similar to yesterday, that's all I have for you today. We're just kind of introducing some newer technologies, giving us something to think about. I didn't want to put a ton of new content in this last week since I know some of us might be catching up on projects. Right, with this quick summer schedule, you might not quite be done. Remember, try to get everything done by Friday. That'll be when everything's due. As far as remaining tasks for today, Once again, there's no reading since we're just kind of exploring some newer technologies. I do have a couple links for you on the tools to explore. There is a 360 animated environment on plastic waste. Okay, so check that out to see kind of how animated environments can be used in education. That is a 360 video, so feel free to click and drag, right? You can look around in that, but that kind of takes you through a lake and shows you how plastic waste might impact different ecosystems. So just a cool use of animated environments there. And there's also another video on Metaverse School. Okay, they put that in quotations there, but just a teacher using VR in the classroom so that students can look at some different concepts there and actually interact with the concepts as opposed to just looking around like that first video. So two, I think, great examples there of animated environments, using that 360 animated environment and using virtual reality. So check those out. There's no quiz, but we do have a discussion. Okay, that'll be our last assignment, just asking you on these different tools. So let's take a look at what that looks like, and then I will turn you guys loose. Okay, so here we have discussion 10. Okay, just like yesterday, we want to answer these questions by Friday. We don't need to reply to our peers since it's a short week. Okay, so just making that initial post by Friday. And similar to yesterday, I'm just curious how you see animated environments and virtual reality being used in education kind of moving forward. So I want to know, do you believe they will become an important area in the future? Okay, why or why not for both of our techs here? And I'd like an example of how you might utilize them in an educational classroom. Okay, so check those out. Question 5 is also about a challenge/pitfall, similar to yesterday. I think pretty standard here, nothing too crazy. Just think about these new technologies and how you might use them and where you think they're going, right? We're just thinking about new technology today. There are 2 points per question. And as always, feel free to email me if you run into any snags. Try to get everything done by this Friday. Okay, and just let me know if you're falling behind on that. But if not, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.